So this week I've been testing this 2018 Volvo V60 T6 all-wheel drive R design. This car is rated for 302 horsepower and 295 pound-feet of torque. It feels very fast. It's really quick. It handles well. This is a little bit of a wolf in sheep's clothing. I like the design on this V60. The wagon is just a great practical aspect, and I think they've made this look like a sleek wagon. This line right here with the windshield kind of tapers that shape back just a little bit, but there's quite a bit of storage space in the back too. I've been hauling winter tires all week with this thing, and you can fit a good 8 wheels and tires in the back without any issues. I wanted to do a night drive in this car today. One, because we're not going to have a lot of traffic, but also just because this car has a nice set of turning headlights, and I think the gauges and everything look kind of cool at night too. I love the interior design and the feel of all the materials in this V60. This steering wheel is phenomenal. The R design wheel with the leather and just kind of the extra bolstering and shapes in the steering wheel just feels really good in hand. It's not too bulky, but it feels kind of muscular, and it's just nice to touch. And it's also heated, which in the winter cold months is one of my favorite features of all time. The seats are fantastic. They're Volvo seats. What else would you expect? And this thing goes like stink. It is properly quick. This is a supercharged and turbocharged 2-liter 4-cylinder. Made it to the 8-speed automatic transmission. And I will say this engine-transmission combination is fantastic. It works great. Yeah, you can harp on about how much you miss the 5 cylinders, but this thing has torque everywhere. It pulls. You hear a little bit of supercharger whine at the lower revs, and then once you get into the high RPMs, it really boosts. It shifts too hard in sport mode. You have paddle shifters. They're not super responsive, but they work. Let's show you guys a quick pull here. This thing is just a little bit of a rocket. This 8-speed does a nice job with giving you power when you need it. It's responsive. You put your foot down, it's not hunting for gears. It just gives you a downshift and you're gone. I really like that about this car. So many of these automatic transmissions today have, they shift quickly once you get going, but there's so much lag to them. This is nice and responsive. I'm pretty impressed with the turn-in and cornering grip, considering these are just all-season squishy, all-season tires. They are on 19-inch wheels, which are I think they're called the unique wheels for the R design package. But the handling on this is pretty phenomenal. You can put it into sport mode. You'll get a little bit of a downshift. The transmission will hold the revs around 3,000 RPM. But steering is good. I can feel what's going on with the front wheels. We're holding this entrance ramp at about 63 miles an hour, which is pretty quick. Brakes are okay once they warm up. You're a little bit tire limited in some of the traction here. But once you get rolling, this thing shifts. Let's try the paddle shifters here. Pretty responsive. It is a traditional automatic. This is not a dual clutch gearbox, so you're not going to get massively responsive downshifts. But it gives you a little blip, and it does a nice job. One thing I will say is I love the radar-guided cruise control in this car. On the highway, you're cruising at just about 2,000 RPM. Highway MPG on this is rated at 32 on the highway, 22 in the city. I've been averaging about 23, 24. I've been doing mostly city driving, but it's been kind of a mix. I have been hustling it though, and this car is it's just been a joy to drive on a daily basis. I've really, really enjoyed it. It's the right size, it's easy to place throughout traffic, and has good visibility. Just the feel of it, interacting with all of the ergonomics is really great. This is a little bit funky here, but you get used to it down in the center console. I will say that this car feels a little bit dated now that, Volvo has come out with their latest generation of S90, V90, XC90. The new XC60 is freaking fantastic. Unbelievably good car. But this being still kind of, I guess, the newer drivetrain from the newer Volvos, decent turning radius, not the best. Volvo isn't known for their amazing turning radiuses. But this car, the infotainment definitely feels dated, especially with what's out now. But this is a really, really good car still. Dynamically, this thing is fantastic. The tune is rock solid. Never had any issues with transmissions doing funky things. This car is very well dialed in, more so than the previous generations or the previous model years that I've driven. They've done some refining to the overall drivability and driving character to this car that it's just fantastic. Suspension is a little bit stiffer than I would like, but it's not bad. It's a good. I think it's a good balance. I wish it did ride just a little bit softer. I'd be glad to give up some cornering, grip, and performance for just a little bit softer of a ride, but that's okay. It is a Volvo station wagon after all. Headlights are really good, as you can see. You've got turning headlights. Navigation, it's fine. It's just traction control. You have to go through like 3 menus to turn it off. Here's 1, 2, and then ESC off 3. And that engages sport mode as well, which I'm not really sure what that does. But overall, I really, really like this car. I think it looks good. It's incredibly practical. And it's a wagon, which just it's a fast wagon, which makes it kind of cool. Yeah, I'm a fan. Alright guys, well, that'll kind of wrap it up. I may also do a daytime review just so you can see what the car looks like and drives like, or I may just post that on the Winding Road YouTube channel. But for now, thanks for watching. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments. But I've been driving this, I've done about a full tank of gas on this car this week, maybe a few hundred miles, and I've really, really enjoyed it. It's just been a blast to drive and to live with and to enjoy. And MSRP on this is $52,000, so a little steep, but I'm sure this will be a heck of a used bargain in a year or two, or even beyond that. Time will tell with the reliability on these turbocharged, supercharged engines, but Volvo is cranking them out, so I assume they've done their due diligence. Alright guys, that's it. The all-wheel drive system seems to work really well too. It does have some torque vectoring. Just overall a solid car. It's not an S4. It's different from an S4. It's different from, a lot of its German competitors, and I think in some ways it's cooler because of that. I just want to show you the headlights and taillights from what they look like from the outside. The wheels look good too, and you get this sport rear diffuser with dual exhaust, which is cool. Just a good Volvo station wagon. Definitely ready for an update, but as it sits, not a bad car at all. I've really enjoyed it. One nitpick that I have, that I've kind of discovered over my time with it, is that you do have to reset your... So every time you turn on the car, auto start stop will turn on automatically. The parking sensors will turn on automatically. I'd like to be able to just disable that stuff and keep it disabled and keep my settings instead of having to turn that on and off every time I drive the car. But a minor gripe. I've just gotten used to throwing it in drive and pressing those two buttons at the same time. So anyway, that's it. Thanks again for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next video. Cheers.